With a new Spider-Man comes new Spider-Villains. So here's a couple of villains that I want to see in the new Spider-Man movie. First of all, I am sick and tired of goblins that are green. Norman Osborn to me is just like a poor man's Lex Luthor, but there is a goblin who does interest me. Hobgoblin. In recent comics, he spent his time as a businessman profiting off the identities of old supervillains. So far in the MCU, there haven't been a whole lot of villains of the earthly nature. They've been sentient robots, and Loki, and Chitauri, and Thanos. Nothing like grounded in the earth. And the ones that have been have followed the tropes of just being an evil version of a hero. Like Whiplash, the Red Skull, the Winter Soldier. I think if you let Hobgoblin follow the path that he's following now in comics, it could be a really good opportunity to bring just random, earthly, not top-level villains, but like medium, like annoying level villains into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Since there's no Green Goblin, people might say, how does the Hobgoblin even come into play? Well, I've got an idea for that too. I think that the Hobgoblin looks very much like a character that already exists in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What? I don't know. A little bit. What I'm thinking is that Roderick Kingsley, who is the Hobgoblin, sees the Chitauri. Maybe he's a scavenger and collects up some of their gear, as we've seen that has happened in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Or maybe he's a collector or businessman and buys up a bunch of Chitauri armor and outfits himself, giving himself some kind of superpowers, and then uses that to kind of, filter out and give alien tech out to his clients. I think it would be really cool to see that work. It's just the kind of light connection that Spider-Man needs to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I think one of the first villains that the Hobgoblin outfits could be the Vulture. Now, the Vulture is a character who has a mechanical wing suit, kind of like the Falcon. So we know that kind of technology already exists in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Hobgoblin could give him a bit of alien tech that could either finish his project or put him just an edge over Falcon. Mainly, I feel that the Vulture would be a great villain to have in the Marvel Cinematic Universe because we have such a young Peter Parker coming into this one. Tom Holland is the youngest Spider-Man we've ever seen, and I think juxtaposing that against the oldest Spider-Man villain we've ever seen will be very interesting. We don't have Uncle Ben in this movie, which, that's good. We don't need to see him die again. But I think it would be really interesting if maybe Peter Parker learned about responsibility and the weight of his powers from someone who is not a trusted person in his life, someone who's a villain, someone who's more older and experienced, can still teach him something. I would love to see Craven the Hunter, who we've already heard may have some kind of a part in the Spider-Man movie. I think Craven fits better into a Spider-Man 2 movie because Craven's whole thing is he wants every monster's head on his wall and he considers Spider-Man a monster. I don't think that Spider-Man has enough stake after his small part in Civil War to justify having Craven, want to hunt this guy. But maybe in Spider-Man 2, once he's built up more clout, he can be a perfect trophy on the wall of Craven. Again, Craven is an earthly villain with not crazy amounts of superpowers, definitely nothing alien, but I think it works really well to put these kind of villains right alongside Spider-Man, who is also very, down to earth, has always been kind of the everyman superhero, that he's not fighting aliens from the Kree Empire. He's fighting guys that just sprung up in New York, and he's having a good time doing it, and the stakes aren't super high yet. It would also be cool to see Black Cat, as well as Mysterio, but Mysterio is just really silly, but also could probably work. I think that the whole Spider-Man universe offers Marvel the chance to have a much, much lighter tone. I focus only on villains who have never been in a Spider-Man movie in this video, which, of course, is few because they just jam all the villains in that they can. But who do you think should be in the new Spider-Man movie? Who's your favorite villain that you think should work in? Let me know in the comments below.